We're just 1 month removed from the NFL draft, and well, we're kind of looking at what actually could have happened, like the rumors that were surrounding the draft for the Minnesota Vikings and all the trades that could have happened. We were looking to trade up to number 3 and stuff. Well, those rumors, I'm not sure if they're 100% false. They could obviously have some truth to them. But the rumor of trading Justin Jefferson has popped up again, and apparently, again, not 100% sure if this is true. I won't believe it until the organization says something, if they even will say something. I doubt that'll be the case, but Justin Jefferson was nearly traded on draft night, and it wasn't for something that you would expect, right? It wasn't for the third pick, it wasn't for the second pick, it wasn't to move up to take a quarterback. However, it might have happened. Okay, so let's get into the situation. What exactly happened? Where were we going to go if we traded Justin Jefferson, and who we were going to take if we did trade Justin Jefferson? Before we do, make sure to subscribe to the channel. So, when the Vikings released a mini documentary of the from the draft room was visibly excited about the newest players. Okay, mainly because they didn't expect to get those two guys before the draft. However, the Vikings reportedly had a different idea, a somewhat crazy one. Now, if you do remember, the Vikings did trade with the Houston Texans to get an extra first-round pick. So we went into this year with 2 first-round picks. Everyone's like, oh, they're bundling those picks. They're going to move up. They're going to get their quarterback of the future. Might have to trade Justin. But mainly the Justin side of things were kind of, how do you want to say it, muted. Nobody was really talking about it. There was a couple speculations here and there, but nothing really came to fruition. But just hours after the first round, Mike Florio, who is known to spew outlandish theories from time to time, reported that the purple team, okay, the Minnesota Vikings, was looking to trade for the 5th overall pick to snatch LSU's receiver Malik Nabers, who some viewed as the top receiver in the draft class. Now, he ultimately was picked 6th overall by the New York Giants, and Chargers head coach Jim Harbaugh wouldn't budge in his first draft in charge, taking offensive tackle Joe Alt, his preferred target, over some additional draft capital. Obviously, I think we all kind of knew Jim Harbaugh was not going to move from that 5th overall pick, just because, yes, it's his first year being the head coach there. He's trying to rebuild the team, if you will. He lost a couple key pieces, was able to keep a couple key pieces. So there was kind of, it was going to be very, very, very tough to get Jim Harbaugh to move. So Minnesota was looking to potentially trade up there, and the package, well, would have been interesting, right? The idea of Minnesota drafting Nabers didn't make much sense because the organization employs Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison, one of the top duos in the National Football League. Now, at the same time, the quarterback position was vacant, and Brian Flores could have used some infusion of youth on his side of the ball. The Vikings targeted both positions while ignoring wide receiver through 7 rounds in the draft, and Mike Florio was wrong after all, right? We got J.J. McCarthy with the 11th overall or the 10th overall pick after trading with the Jets, and then we trade up again with this for the 17th overall pick, I do believe, and took Dallas Turner. Now, that could have almost not happened entirely. On Sunday, however, those theories surprisingly returned. Charlie Walters from the St. Paul Pioneer Press revived that rumor, okay? Unlike Florio, who made it sound like Kevin O'Connell wanted to build an outrageous trio, Walters clarified that the Vikings wanted to form a new duo and swap the 2 LSU wideouts. Jefferson out, Nabers in was the supposed plan. Here's what Charlie Walters of the St. Paul Pioneer Press wrote about this situation. There was a buzz at draft time that the Vikings wanted to move from number 11 to number 5, which I think we all kind of understood was the most realistic possibility. Not to pick a quarterback, but to get LSU wide receiver Malik Nabers, who was picked number 6 by the New York Giants. Had that trade occurred, Jefferson would have been traded, and Nabers would have been the number 1 receiver. Now, I don't know if you could say he'd be the number 1 receiver on the offense just yet, because Jordan Addison has a year under his belt, whereas Nabers doesn't have any under his belt. So, Addison probably knows the playbook a little bit more, knows how to, run the routes just a little bit better than Nabers at this point in time. But you never know, things could have changed, right? But Justin Jefferson would have been traded if we were to trade up. That is the rumor circulating around. Again, I don't believe it 100%. I think it's all lies, but at the same time, I'm not in the organization. I'm not in the front office. I'm not in the draft room when these things are being talked about. So I could be completely wrong, and these rumors could obviously be true. Now, Jefferson is still waiting for his contract extension. It is fair to evaluate the situation and gauge some alternative routes, which I believe maybe what the Vikings were doing instead of actually looking at saying, "Hey, we're going to trade Justin Jefferson." No, they were saying, "Hey, if we can't get a contract extension done, do we look to potentially move on from Jefferson?" I think that's kind of where their heads were at, because as an organization, any organization, when you know it's going to be tough to keep somebody around, but you really want to keep them around, you have to look at your plan B just in case plan A doesn't happen to work out, so that you always have, a fall safe in plan, or a backup plan ready to rock and roll. However, trading away the face of the franchise, the league's best wideout, and possibly the best skill position player in the National Football League is a crazy decision that ultimately pushes Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah onto the hot seat. I'd say. I'd say. Unless Neighbors instantly produces the crazy numbers Jefferson did in his debut season, the incoming scrutiny targeted at the general manager would be inevitable. Obviously, 100%, 1,000,000%. Look, I've been very vocal about this from the beginning. If we trade this man away from Minnesota, I don't know how much more I'd be able to watch. I really don't, because that would tell me right then and there this organization doesn't care about winning. They don't care at all about the how much the fans enjoy going to the games, how much the fans invest their heart and soul into this team like I do. Like, it would make no sense losing the face of the franchise, especially when we all know that they can get a deal done. They just have to quit being stubborn and pay the man whatever he wants. Plain and simple, he's the best wide receiver in the National Football League, arguably top 5, top 10 players in the entire National Football League, not counting quarterbacks. You can definitely argue that fact that Justin Jefferson, with the type of numbers he's put up, the type of teammate he is for this organization, you get rid of something like that, boy, we are in a deep dark hole for years. Now, I'm not saying trading him, getting Malik Neighbors would be bad by any means, because then you're looking to go young at the wide receiver position, which I think we already basically are with Jefferson and Jordan Addison. We have Brandon Powell. I can't remember off the top of my head how old Brandon Powell is, but yeah, you'd save some money down the road. But again, you draft Neighbors, and in 3-4 years' time, you're going to have to extend Jordan Addison. In 5 years' time, you're going to have to extend Malik Neighbors. And who knows, if Neighbors just goes off and has a better career at the beginning in his rookie contract than Justin Jefferson did, you're going to have to pay Malik Neighbors more money than what you were going to have to pay Justin in the first place. So it really wouldn't make too much sense for me, just because, again, face of the franchise. Everybody knows who Justin Jefferson is. Jay Jettis, the Jet, whatever you want to call him, the gritty master. I don't care, right? You don't do that. Like, it's just, it blows my mind. If these rumors are true, very, very, very thankful that they didn't go through, because, boy, I would have some very dark times going forward, because I don't know what this organization, I'd be confused at what this organization was doing. But again, Justin Jefferson was almost traded on draft night to the Los Angeles Chargers or in return, we'd get the 5th overall pick. I'm not sure the entire package that would be included in that. I'm sure it's Justin, the 2 first-round picks, and then who knows what else was probably going to go in that package. I have no clue. But these rumors are just straight up tomfoolery. We don't really need to talk about it, but I thought it'd be a good time to address it, because obviously everyone's seeing this news and being like, whoa, was he actually almost traded? From what these reports are telling me, what I've seen on the internet all morning and all day long, these rumors probably were true. But at the same time, I have a hard time believing Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah and Kevin O'Connell sat down and said, we could trade him. We could get Malik Neighbors. Why? It makes no sense. You don't know what type of production you're going to get out of him, and you already know exactly what you're going to get out of Justin Jefferson. A top 3, maybe even the top receiver in the National Football League, year in and year out. Justin Jefferson almost traded on draft night. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It'd be much, much appreciated. Have a great rest of the night, folks, and Skol Vikes.